Bharathraj, kindly start introducing the today's chief guest.
Good evening, friends. I welcome Dr. S. Ranganath, eminent speaker of today's session, 57th session of Ee Sambhashane, being conducted by our Samprabha Association under the guidance of our Narayan Swami sir, President, and under the coordination of our friend Kodanram. And I welcome all the participants to this wonderful session and the topic today. Friends, today's topic, that is Omkara and its significance. For all mankind, the creation of a universe is the greatest mystery. So each religion advocates its own theory. Christianity explains through Adam and Eve story, and whereas the science explains through Big Bang theory, and our Hinduism explains the creation of universe through the vibration of Omkara, the sacred sound. That is why it is called the primordial sound. So Omkar has been referred to as the sacred symbol and symbol of universal ultimate truth. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಸಂಕೇತ, ವಿಶ್ವದ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯ ಮೂಲ ಈ ಓಂಕಾರ ನಾದದಿಂದ ಮೂಡಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮ ನಂಬಿದೆ. ಈ ಓಂಕಾರ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಆ ಉ ಮ ಎಂಬ ಸ್ವರಗಳಿಂದ ಸೇರಿ ಓಂ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಮೂರು ಸ್ವರಗಳನ್ನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಲಯ ಅನ್ನ ಸೂಚಿಸ್ತವೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯ ಇದಾದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ, ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತನಾದ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಯಕರ್ತನಾದ ಶಿವನನ್ನ ಇದು ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದೂಯಿಸಂ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್, ಜೈನಿಸಂ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಓಂಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಹತ್ವದ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಓಂಕಾರ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯೋಗದ ಆಚರಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಓಂಕಾರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರಣವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಹತ್ವವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಂಕರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎ ಲೇಮನ್, I limit myself explaining Omkara for this because we have an eminent speaker, an authority who speaks on this topic. So because I have a lot more to speak on the today's speaker, that is why I limit my this thing explaining Omkara as an anchor. Friends, we are honored to have Dr. S. Ranganath today, a renowned philosopher, Sanskrit scholar, writer, and internationally acclaimed exponent of Indian knowledge traditions. Coming to his academics, Dr. Ranganath secured first rank in MA Sanskrit from Bangalore University. He was awarded prestigious Irianna Gold Medal and Yabbar Sri Vaishnava Sabha Gold Medal for his academic excellence. He earned his PhD for his pioneering research on the contribution of Vachaspati Mishra to Indian philosophy, and later obtained the distinguished D.Litt degree from Himachal Pradesh University for his postdoctoral work titled Post Independent. Sir?
Please go ahead.
Dr. Ranganath is a traditional scholar of Advaita Vedanta and holds the title Advaita Vidwan from Chamarajendra Sanskrit College. Dr. Ranganath is a multilingual author who has authored more than 130 books and over 100 research papers in Kannada, Sanskrit, and English. His acclaimed Kannada translation of Thai Ramayana, that is Ramayana of Thailand, that is Ramakirti Mahakavya, received international recognition and was published in Bangkok. He was specially honored by the Crown Princess of Thailand for this achievement. An ambassador of Indian culture and Sanskrit learning, Dr. Ranganath has delivered distinguished lectures and demonstrative presentations at renowned institutional academic centers, including University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, London, and couple of German universities. His scholarly excellence was recognized in the Parliament of London, where he was honored by Lord Karan Bilimoria. Dr. Ranganath has been conferred with numerous prestigious honors, including Vachaspati by the National Sanskrit University and the title Mahamahopadhyaya by Akhila Bharata Vidwan Parishad in recognition of his contribution to Sanskrit scholarship and Indian philosophy. Dr. Ranganath served as a member of the Sanskrit Academy from 2018 to 2022. At present, Dr. Ranganath is serving as a fellow at the Indian Institute of Advanced Study under the Ministry of Education, Government of India, where he is engaged in advanced interdisciplinary research on Indian epics and governance traditions. So let us respectfully invite Dr. Ranganath to talk on the today's topic, Omkara and its significance. So welcome to you, sir. Session is over to you, sir.
At the very outset, I want to express my grateful thanks and high indebtedness to all the authorities of Samprabha and Ee Sambhashane 57 series, wherein I have been invited to share my thoughts on Omkara and its significance for about 50 minutes by Sri M.G. Kodandram, and I am also grateful to Sri Bharathraj, KN, who is anchoring this particular program, who spoke very kindly regarding me. I heartily welcome all those who are watching this program, wherein I try to highlight the philosophical and mystic experience of the syllable Om pervading harmoniously in our tradition, in Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga system, Tantric system, Puranas, Smritis, statement of our national poet Kalidasa, and end with the opinions of some of our visionary scholars like Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, M. Hiriyanna, Swami Vivekananda, Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and others. If time permits, I will highlight the profundity of the letters A, U, and Ma based on Sudhakar Chaturvedi's work, wherein he gives 43 interpretations of A, U, and Ma. So it will be an attempt to trace Om from Vedic literature to modern times like a bird's eye view. With these prefatory remarks, I come to my subject. Om and Swastik are mystic symbols of India on which Swami Abhedananda has extensively written. Swami Abhedananda was one who popularized Hinduism in US after Vivekananda returned from US. In all the four Vedas, we have a reference to Om. In Aitareya Brahmana belonging to Rigveda 5.32, Om is a sacred sound representing the creative powers of the universe and the essence of all Vedas. Om is an imperishable word, the essence of life and the whole of Veda itself. Aitareya Brahmana suggests that A, Vu, and Ma correspond to cosmic creation of stages. This has been beautifully highlighted by Professor G.N. Chakravarti in his monumental work Harmony in Rigveda, represented the sound of existence and the supreme light is Om. It is used as a formal beginning for reading the Vedas and for various religious rites. Om ityagre vyaharet namayiti paschat. In Mundakopanishad, which is one of the 10 principal Upanishads, we have a classic statement in 2.2.4. Pranavo dhanuhu sharohi atma brahma tallakshamuchyate apramattena vedhavyam sharavattanmayo bhave. This Upanishad delineates through a beautiful metaphor for spiritual liberation the bow that launches the human soul, namely Atman, toward the supreme target of Brahman, the absolute reality. Om is the bow, Atman or self is the body, and Brahman absolute is the mark. Just as the bow is the cause of an arrow hitting its target, repetitive and focused meditation on the syllable Om allows the individual soul to pierce through delusion and unite with the Supreme Brahman. The Mandukya, which is one of the shortest of the 10 Upanishads, beautifully highlights 4 states of consciousness that describe the full range of human experience, from the material world to the transcendental absolute. The 3 states are waking or Jagrat, dreaming or Swapna, deep sleep or Sushupti, and the fourth is Turiya, which is a stateless state representing the journey from ego to non dual awareness. We know how Ramana beautifully said, erase ego. If ego goes, I go. Otherwise, I can't go in the upward journey of the human soul. Psychologists make a beautiful distinction between id, ego, and superego. Some they just don't have ego, they have got superego. I know everything, nobody else knows anything. Who is he to judge others? Judge not others lest ye be judged. That's what Bible has taught us. The first thing for us in the form of assent towards the Om is to know that I don't know. That's the first step. Naham manyesu vedeti no na vedeti vedacha yo nastat veda tat veda no na vedeti vedacha avijnatam vijanatam vijnatam avijanatam, as Kenopanishad says. Vaishvanara, the outer gross world, the self acts as the enjoyer of external objects through the senses, operating through a limited egoic perspective. Jagrat is what we are now. I am talking and you are listening. Somebody else is also listening. All this is happening in our wakeful state. Therefore, we cannot deny that wakeful state is not there. But till what level can we explain this wakeful state? Till we sleep. That comes the second stage called Taijasa, as Mandukya puts it, or Swapna, or dream state. The inner subtle world or Sukshma of dreams, the mind acts on its own, creating, experiencing, and enjoying the inner projections and mental impressions. This is Wu. Sleep talking, sleep walking, walking come talking, all this happens during the dream state. But in the next morning, when somebody asks, you quietly, flatly deny it. But it's all happening at the level of dreams. Let me give you the practical example of sleep talking in Swapna Vasudatta, the fifth act of Bhasa's super play, where Udayana comes there to inquire the health of Padmavati, his second wife. Unfortunately, Padmavati is not in her bed, she has gone out. He sits on the bed and starts talking in the sleep. Immediately, Vasudatta, who was there, the first wife, puts the hand back and gets back. But he starts talking, Ha priye Vasavadatte, prayachame prativachanam. Where is Vasavadatta? Immediately the Vidushaka comes and argues, but he says no. This is definitely the touch of Vasavadatta, not the touch of Padmavati. Look at the horripilation of hair on my hand. The hair which has become vertical has not yet become horizontal. This is the touch of Vasavadatta, not the touch of Padmavati, as M.R. College translates that particular stanza. That is sleep talking. If you come to Macbeth of Shakespeare, there is sleepwalking. Lady Macbeth walks all over the place with a candle in her hand. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And if you come to Kalidasa's Kumarasambhava, they have got both talking and walking together. Parvati is trying to embrace Parameshwara. He Neelakanta Vrajasiti Alakshavaga Satya Kantarpita Bahubandana. There is no Kanta at all. She thinks there is Neelakanta there. So walking and talking is happening at the same time. Thus we see what an amount of inner thing is going on when we are sleeping. Mind is not sleeping. We may be sleeping. Body may be sleeping. But mind is still active. Therefore, one should mend one's mind to reach the mindless state, which is the pristine pure state, according to our philosophy. And the third I also want to give one practical, humane example here. This is how I was giving the example for my students. Now you are all my fresh victims. I am victimizing you. You should pardon me. God shows one incarnation after another incarnation. But man shows all the 10 incarnations during night. Do you know how people sleep? Some people with half closed eyes, they will be sleeping. That is Matsyavatara. Some others, when they sleep, their body will be going up and down like Varaha Avatara. Some others, they hold their legs and sleep, Vamana Avatara. Some others, one leg this side, one leg that side, they'll be sleeping. That is Trivikrama Avatara. Some others with all their hair on the pillow, they will be sleeping. That is Narsimha Avatara. At least God showed one incarnation after another. We show all the 10 incarnations during the same night. Are we not great, I say? And in the next morning, we start sipping Triveni Sangam. You know what is Triveni Sangam? Coffee. Why do you go to Allahabad or Allahabad or Prayagraj? Right here you can have Triveni Sangam. Ganga water is white in color, that is milk. And Yamuna water is black in color, that is decoction. And Saraswati is Gupta Gamini, that is sugar. Therefore, sugar plus milk plus decoction is equal to Triveni Sangam. This is my interpretation and my imagination. Because poets, lunatics, and lovers are of imagination all compact. Midsummer Night's Dream, Act 2nd, Scene 3rd, line 42, Shakespeare, 16th century, Stratford upon Avon. Now, coming to the third state, that is prajna or sushupti state. You take the data collection from 500 people. How did you sleep? How did you sleep? How did you sleep? All of them give the same answer. I slept well. I did not know anything. But in dream state, if you ask, you say that I was Aishwarya Rai. I was Maharaja of Mysore. They give all kinds of things. But in the next day morning, they come back to their original self. It is like Tirukana Kanasu. Tirukana Orvanura Munda Muruku Dharmashalayalli. So he is back to his original thing. Therefore, dreams are always false. Whereas deep sleep state is true because you get oneness of interpretation. When there is one, it is true. When there are many, it is false. Therefore, ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. That's what we declare. You give different names, doesn't matter. You know, Shankaracharya is very fond of the name Govinda, and Bhagavad Ramanuja is fond of the name Narayana, and Madhva is fond of the name Hari, but all of them, they merge into ocean. Now, who is Hari, who is Narayana, who is Govinda? Ultimately, they all meet one and the same Lord, just as in Mundakopanishad we have a statement, Yatha Nadyaha Samudre Astam Gachanti Namarupe Vihaya Tata Vidvan Namarupad Vimuktaha Parat Param Purusham Upaiti Divyam. What is Ganga, what is Yamuna, what is Kaveri? Till it reaches the ocean. Then once it reaches the ocean, water is water, that's all. Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. So which is Ganga water? Can you discriminate that at that level? Therefore, there is foam. There is wave, there is a drop, there is a droplet, but all of them ultimately merge into the same ocean by losing their water, the water drop or foam or whatever it is. Therefore, names are merely there in our vyavaharik mundane world. But in the ultimate analysis, there is only one thing that is supreme. You call it by different names. That's why Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahine Rakshate Dukrinkarane. This is Shankaracharya of Govinda. And coming to Ramanujacharya, we have got Narayana. Narayana Paro Vyakta Dandam Avyakta Sambhavam Andasyantasime Loka Saptadvipa Chamedini. You come to Madhvacharya, you have got Hari. Shriman Madhvamate Hari Parataraha Satyam Jagat Tatvato Bhinna Jivaganaha Hare Ranucharaha Nichocha Bhavangataha Muktihi Naija Sukana Kari Ramala Bhaktischa Tatsadanam Yakshadi Pramanam Tridayamakilam Amnaye Kavedyo Harihi. Therefore, this is a pragna, opposite of agna. You know, there are two people who don't know anything. You can teach them. People who know everything, there is no necessity of teaching them at all. People who know that they don't know are the real people. But the opposite is very much existent. We say that I know everything. Nahi sarva sarvam janati. It's impossible to know everything. God alone is the one who knows everything. So we know our own things in our own limitation. The last is, you see, turiya, or the fourth state, from which we don't come back again to this mortal world. That is not experienced by ordinary people like us. That is there only for great emancipated souls who are never born and who are Jivan Muktas. That is called transcendental consciousness. To use Aurobindo's statement, when individual consciousness merges with universal consciousness, what remains is only consciousness, which one should not even be conscious of. That is the stateless state of Aurobindo. The fourth is not just a state, but the substratum of the other three. Pure awareness, beyond duality, beyond comprehension, beyond confusion, where there is only fusion. Quiet, non-dual and immortal. Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtam sa Atma Manyante Savigneyaha. Shantam. Who are the people who would have attained the state of Turiya? They are in that calm state, pristine, pure state. Just take the example of Ramana Maharshi, how he was. Shaktimantamapi Shanti Sanyutam, Bhaktimantamapi Bhedavarjitam, Vitaragamapi Lokavatsaram, Sadhubhavamapi Namracheshtitam. It is non-dual bhakti. That's the highest form of bhakti which is being practiced. Shakti is there, but not to show, but to protect the weak. Dharmaraya was not a coward. He never wanted unnecessary bloodshed to happen in the battle. Therefore, till the end, he tried to avoid war. But when it was absolutely impossible, he would go there and win the war. That's why he has got another term, Yudhishthira. What is the etymology of the word Yudhishthira? Yudhi, Ranangane, Yahasthiraha, Saha Yudhishthiraha. One who enters the battlefield never comes back with a defeat. He is not a coward. Cowards die many times before their death. The valiant never test their death but once. Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Therefore, the most important thing is Ramana's character of Shakti with Shanti. You come to Sadashiva Brahmendra. How was he? The great contemporary of Tyagaraja. You see, he is always a Shanta Swarupa. Shanta Hankruti Dosha Susamahita Manasakopi Purnendu Shishirabhava Rajatyananda Satyachidrasikaha Shanta Ahankruti Varjitaha. The most important thing is to get out of this I-ness. I did this. Who am I? Paul Brunton came to Ramana and said, I want peace. I want peace. I want peace. Ramana said, leave the first word. I goes. Leave the second word. Want goes. What remains is only peace. Peace does not come from outside. Peace comes from inside. There are two kinds of peace, PIECE and PESCE. When Rajiv Gandhi had come to Bangalore, there was a placard outside town hall. Do you want PIECE or PESCE? Very soon he became PIECE with a bomb blast. Therefore, what everybody aspires is, I want Shanti. That's why we say, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Why thrice you utter that word? Adhyatmika, Adi Daivika and Adi Bhautika. There are three kinds of sufferings out of which we have to get out. Therefore, the most important thing to control, to have peace or Shanti or Om in the universe is to overcome our pride and arrogance. Therefore, leave the pride first. Pride comes before fall. Let me give you the famous discourse, 1930, given by Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, the 34th pontiff of Sringeri Sharada Peetham, who was called an ascetic par excellence and a Jivan Mukta very embodiment. He said, oh man, how do you think that you are better than any animal or a plant? If you think you have got very good eyesight, eagle has got a better eyesight than you. If you think you have got very sharp ears, dogs have got better hearing ability than you. If you think you have got beautiful teeth resembling that of a pomegranate seed, what is the use of your teeth when compared to the tusk of an elephant? Whether elephant lives or dies, it has its value out of its tusk. Your teeth has no value when you are alive. Who cares after your death? Therefore, you cannot be proud of your teeth. If you think that you have got beautiful hair, when compared with that of a goat or some other thing, it has been made into a shawl, it has been made into a sweater, the hair of the goat or sheep, and your hair is useless, even from that point of view. Therefore, you are worse than the hair or a goat from the point of view of thing. And if you think you have got beautiful nails, you play on veena in a melodious fashion. What is the use of your nail when compared to the nail of a cheetah or a tiger, which has been made as a garland and adorned to village folk deities? You are worse than a tiger or a cheetah from the point of view of your nail. If you think you are very beautiful and good looking in a zoo, a tiger is protected, a peacock is protected, an elephant is protected. No human being has been protected in a zoo as a person to be seen and admired. Therefore, from physical point of view also, you cannot compare with them. Then if you think that you are very intelligent and mischievous and you can dupe anybody, can you face a fox or a jackal, which is known for duping others? And what to say about cow? Cow is the very embodiment of all the auspicious qualities. Therefore, you are better than which animal, tell me, on account of which you are proud. This is what Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal beautifully brought out in 1930 religious discourse at Sringeri. And after 96 years, I am just recollecting that great statement. So now, coming to Taittiriya Upanishad, we have got a beautiful statement on Om. Om iti Brahma, Om iti Idagam Sarvam, Om ityetadanakrutiha smava, Apyo Shravayetya Shravayanti, Om iti Samani Gayanti, Ogam Shomiti Shastrani Shagam Santi, Om ityadvaryu Pratikaram Pratigranati, Om iti Brahma Prasauti. Om is Brahman, identifying it as the highest goal and the ultimate reality. It is used in rituals to give assent, initiate chanting of Saman prayers. You know, Samaveda is the most melodious of all the Vedas, and the origin of music is in Samaveda. Etat samagayannaste. Ahamannam, 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 ahamannado, hamannado, hamannadaha, ahagashlokakrta, agashlokakrta, ahamasmirutasya na, bhaji, yoma dadati sayideva ma, vaha, ahamannamannamadantamaadmi. It goes like that. That is Samaveda, the melody of that. Perform the sacrifices and to begin the study of Vedas. You see, always you have to chant Om before you start studying Veda. That is the basic principle. And the student start their studies by uttering Om with the conviction that it leads to achieving Brahman. Uttering Om is described as a means to obtain Brahman. Om is Brahman. Om is entire world. It is used to signify agreement. Om means I agree with you. The Upanishad emphasizes that through meditation on Om, the seeker gains knowledge and ultimately realizes the self. In Kathopanishad, Om is presented as the supreme symbol and highest representation of Brahman. Yama reaches to Nachiketa and tells him that this single imperishable syllable embodied the goal of all Vedas, all tapas, all brahmacharya, holding the key to immortality and fulfilling all desires. Yama tells Nachiketa that Om is Brahman, this syllable is the highest, it is the ultimate secret and truth that once fulfills all desires and grants fearlessness. Om is crucial for self-realization and gaining liberation. 1.2.15, 1.2.16, 1.2.17. There are three mantras in Kathopanishad which highlight the beauty and glory of Om. Sarve Veda Yadpadamananti Tapamsi Sarvani cha Yadvadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Omityetat Yetadyevaksharam Brahma Yetadyevaksharam Param Yetadyevaksharam Gnatva Yo Yadichati Tasya Tat Yetadalambanam Shreshtam Yetadalambanam Param Yetadalambanam Gnatva Brahmaloke Mahiyate. Now, coming from Shruti to Smriti, we have got our Bhagavad Gita. So, what is there in Mahabharata, you can find elsewhere. What is not there in Mahabharata, you can't find it anywhere else. That is very much true regarding Bhagavad Gita also, because Bhagavad Gita is one of the 5 jewels of Mahabharata. Gita Sahasranamasya Stavarajah Anusmritihi Gajendra Mokshananchaiva Pancharatnani Bharate. There are 18 is the mystic symbol in our tradition. We have 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas, 18 Parvas in Mahabharata, 18 Adhyayas in Bhagavad Gita, 18 Akshauhini army fought, and it was 18-day war. And during Rama's journey in the forest, it took 18 major incidents. Therefore, 18 has got a thorough symbolic element. I have written one small book in 2007 of about 180 pages, wherein 1 to 108 I have discussed by giving 100 quotations for each number. So anybody can refer to that. Now coming to Bhagavad Gita, we have 3 stanzas which highlight Om. 7th chapter, 8th stanza, 8th chapter, 13th stanza, 17th chapter, 23rd stanza. Now let me start with 7-8. Krishna states, I am the sound in ether, I am the syllable Om in all the Vedas, the essence of Vedas. Pranavaha Chandasam Aham. In 8.13, meditation at death, again the concept of Om comes. One who closes the bodily doors, fixes the mind in the heart, and chants the sacred syllable Om while meditating on him at the moment of death reaches the highest destination. Om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yaprayati tyajan deham sayati paramangatim. Now coming to 17.23, Om, Tat and Sat. These are the 3 important words here. The combination of Om, Tat and Sat is declared the threefold symbol of the Supreme Absolute used to sanctify actions, offerings and austerities. Om Tat Sadati Nirdeshaha Brahmanas Trividas Smrutaha. Now, take you down from Smriti literature to Tantric literature. In Tantric practice, the chanting of Om often involves focused, specific breathing techniques designed to align the mind with the breath. Om is directly related to the awakening of Kundalini. It is used as a tool for creating internal vibrations that cleanse and focus the mind, leading to accelerating self-realization. In yoga system, Om is considered the sacred primordial sound of the universe, representing the union of body, mind and spirit. It is chanted to calm the mind. The most thing is one should mend one's mind. Otherwise, mind is compared to a monkey, mind is compared to a fish, mind is compared to all the transient things. Manaha, Madhukaraha, Megaha, Manini, Marut, Ma, Madaha, Matsyaha, Markataha, Makaraha, Dashachanchala. All these 10 things starting from the letter Ma are known for their transitoriness. First thing is mind. You know, in Mahabharata, there's a beautiful question which is posed by Yamadharmaraya to Dharmaraya. So, which is the fastest moving thing? He gives the answer, mind. And immediately he asks, which one of your brothers who have become unconscious should come back to consciousness? Easily he could have opted for Bhima or Arjuna. But he says, I want Nakula or Sahadeva. Because as son of Kunti, I am very much alive. My father had 2 wives. Let one of the sons of Madri also come to life. You know, that is the dharmic prajna of Dharmaraya. You cannot translate the word dharma into English. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is not ethics. Dharma is not code of conduct. Dharma is not value system. Dharma is Dharma itself. Dharana dharma ityahuhu. Dharma eva hato hanti. Dharma rakshati rakshitaha. Paritrana sadhuna. Vinashaya cha dushkrutam. Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Glanir bharata. Abhyuttanam dharmasya. Tadatmanam sujamyaham. These are the clarion words of Lord Krishna in our tradition. You know, Krishna is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the Lord. One may be a messenger of Lord, another may be a son of Lord, but we have Lord incarnate. That we should not forget. Sadashiv Brahmendra has given 9 ways in which you can control mind. He has written one book called Mano Niyamanam, how to control mind. Everybody says you control the mind, but how to control the mind? Nobody gives any clue, you see. The first thing is try to minimize your desires. That's why when Kengal Hanumantaya was Chief Minister of Mysore, he appointed his personal assistant, Sri Annegowda, former professor of English at Mysore University, who gave him a slogan, deserve before you desire. If at all you want to desire something, you should deserve it. Undeservedly, you should not even desire for it. Desire is the root cause of misery, as Buddha said it. Wants are unlimited. The means to satisfy those wants are limited. With limited means, you can't satisfy unlimited wants. Therefore, some wants go unsatisfied. This is what Adam Smith said. Therefore, wants are always unlimited. Once you satisfy one want, it automatically leads to another want. Therefore, in this yoga system, you see, Bija mantra, Om is a Bija mantra from which all other sounds originate. Jagata Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau. You see, Vag Artha Iva Sampruktav. Vag Artha Pratipattaye. Jagata Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau. Can you separate Vag from Artha or Artha from Vag? They go hand in hand. Just as in Ardhanarishwara, you cannot separate who is Parvati and who is Parameshwara. It becomes one and the same. That's why Bimal Krishna Matilal, who succeeded Dr. S. Radhakrishnan as Spalding Professor of Eastern Religions and Ethics at Oxford, wrote a book, Word and the World. It starts, can there be a word without a world or world without a word? A lot has been discussed on the concept of word by Bharathraj in his Vakyapadiya. Whether word is eternal or non-eternal. I'm not going into those details here because it is not coming under my purview of Om. Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha. This is the sutra I want from Yoga Sutra 1.27. The first Adhyaya, 27th Sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. If you traditionally want to analyze this sutra, you have to study Yoga Sutra, then you have to study Vyasa Bhashya, then you have to study Rajamartanda Bhoja, then you have to study Sadashiv Brahmendra's Yoga Sutra Vritti, and then come to some kind of conclusion with your limited intellect in analyzing that great intellect. That's the amount of literature which I have got on this. In Buddhism and Jainism, it is used as a non-religious symbol. And in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, we have got reference to Om. It narrates the mechanism of meditating on the self. Swadeham aranim krutva pranavancha uttararanam dhyana nirmatana abhyasa devam pashyet nigudavat. First chapter, 14th mantra of Shvetashvatara Upanishad, which is usually taken as the 11th Upanishad after Isha Kena Kata, Mundaka Mandukya Prashna, Aitariya Taitariya, Chandogya Brihadaranyaka. By making one's own body the lower friction stick arani and the upper friction stick by the practice of meditation, one should behold the God who is hidden. If you have real powers, without scratching a matchstick, you should be in a position to ignite fire. That's what our elder Munis used to say by chanting Agni Sukta of Rigveda. Agnamile Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Hotaram Ratnadatamam Agne Purve Viruchadiridhyo Nutanairuta Sadevam Eha Vakshati Agnina Arayamashna Patposhameva Dive Dive Yashasam Viravattamam Agneyam Yagnamadvaram Vishvata Paribhurasi Sayid Deveshu Gachati Agnirhota Kavikratu Satyaschitrashrabastamaha Devo Deve विरागमत् यदङ्गदाशुषे त्वमग्ने भद्रं करिष्यसि तवेत्तत् सत्यमङ्गिरः उपत्वाग्ने दिवे दिवे दोषावस्तर्धिया वयं नमो भरन्तयेमसि राजन्तमध्वराणां गोपामृतस्य दीदिविं वर्धमानं स्वेदमे सनप्पिते वसूनवेग्ने सूपायनो भव सचस्वानस्वस्तये. This is the first mantra of Rigveda. 10 mandalas, 8 ashtakas, 10,552 suktas, 64 hours non-stop chanting of entire Rigveda. I have made one CD of the entire chanting of Rigveda of 64 hours with 1 hour of introduction in English. Anyway, now coming to Shvetashvatara to Smriti literature, Manusmriti, second chapter, 83rd stanza refers to Om as a supreme monosyllable representing the absolute Brahman. Ekaksharam param brahma pranayamaha parantapaha omkaraha. In Yajnavalkya Smriti refers Om as supreme sacred sound foundational to Vedic rituals, pranayama and meditation. In Vayu Purana, it describes Om as representing Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva as Akara, Ukara and Makara. In Shiva Purana, it identifies Lord Shiva with Om. Shiva is Om and Om is Shiva. Omkaraha pranavaha proktaha Shivastatra vachakaha. In Vishnu Purana, we have Om as ruler of all the sounds. Pranavaha sarva vedanam neta. In Garuda Purana, it highlights Om as the essential prefix for all Vedic mantras, particularly Gayatri mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Vasanad Vasudevasya Vasitante Jagatrayam Sarvabhuta Nivasosi Vasudeva Namostute. This is a mantra which is not just sacred for Indians in India, but George Sudarshan, one of the greatest physicists who very narrowly missed Nobel Prize, who was in Austin, Texas, before conducting a physics experiment abroad, being a Christian, he would chant this and then perform the experiment. That's the amount. We have importance. Those who have realized the greatness of Om, that's how they treat us. And our national poet, you see, is Kalidasa. And his masterly epic is Raghuvamsha. In Raghuvamsha of Kalidasa, he states in the opening canto to establish supreme sacred authority of the solar dynasty and the spiritual nature of King Dilipa. Vaivasvato manurnama mananiyo manishinam asin mahikshita madhyaha pranavaha chandasamiva. First canto, 11th stanza, Raghuvamsha, Kalidasa, last but one work, which is a masterly epic on account of which he got the title Deepashika Kalidasaha, wherein he has used that particular simile and hence Upama Kalidasasya. Bharaverartha Gauravam, Dandina Padalalityam, Mage Santitrayo Gunaha. That stanza has become famous. Vaivasvata Manu was worthy of being honored by the wise. In his pure lineage was born Dilipa, just as Om is the primordial unsurpassable syllable for all other syllables. We have got different koshas, you see. There was a statement earlier, Desha Nodu Kosha Odu. So we had, so people used to by heart Amarakosha. Trikanda Amarakosha was in their lips. I had a student in 1984, Rupalakshmi by name. When we used to ask one more question for give synonyms, she used to write entire Amarakosha of 24 synonyms and give me the choice. Please take one and leave 23. It's not I asking choice. She used to give me choice by writing all the 24. Madanaha means Madanaha Manmataha Maraha Pradyumno Veena Ketana Kandarpaha Darpakaha Anangaha Kamaha Panchashara Smaraha Shampararihi Manasijaha Kusamesho Ananyajaha Pushpadanvar Dipatihi Makaratwajatmabu Shungarayoni Shri Putraha Shurpakara Tirityapi Aravinda Mashokancha Chutancha Navamallika. She would write all the 24 when she was expected only one. So I have done a lot of punya to be in the company of such good students. over 4 decades. We have got Amara Kosha, Halayuda Kosha, Vishnu Kosha, Ekakshara Kosha, Anekakshara Kosha, Manka Kosha. I am quoting only Manka Kosha for the present purposes because of paucity of time. Manka Kosha states that Om should be chanted at the time of offering respects to some elders, receiving blessing from elders, when one is maintaining total silence, when one is doing daily puja, when one is giving charities and receiving charities. In all these occasions, you can chant Om. Abhyudane, Abhyupagame, Tushnim Bhave, Samarchane, Dana, Pratigrahadocha, Omkare Picha Mangale. You see, these are the different contexts in which you can chant Om. That is the universal significance of the concept of Om. Now, coming to the word Om and the Atha in the Brahma Sutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa, we have manifestations from the throat. Om is a manifestation of the throat, and throat is a part of consciousness, and hence Om is nothing but Brahman. We have Omkarascha Tashabdascha Dvaveto Brahmana Pura Kantam Vitva Viniryato Tasman Mangalika Vubhau. In Shaiva and Vaishnava Agama literature, there also you find Omkara. What is Agama? Agatam Shiva Bhaktarebhyaha. Ga. Gatancha Girijamukhe. Ma. Matitam Vasudevena. Tasmat Agama Uchate. That's the definition of Agama. That which has come from Shiva, that which has entered Uma, and that which has been given to the world by Krishna with Mathana. In Shaiva and Vaishnava Agamas, Om is the functional vibration from which the universe is created. Agamas describe Om as the sound form of Brahman, the supreme reality. It is identified as the root of all the mantras. Sarvagnanottaragama, that's one of the names of the Agama, discusses repetition of the Mula mantra Om, Om Ham Hum Shivaya Namaha. Mimamsakas, focusing on the ritualistic aspects, recognize Om as a mandatory utterance to ensure the sanctity and effectiveness of Vedic recitation. Om Namah Shivaya is a famous mantra which Pandavas were chanting in Mahabharata. Shanti Parva, chapter 268, emphatically identifies Om as the root of the Vedas and a necessary utterance for sacred rites. Anugita is one of the Gitas which came after Bhagavad Gita. This is after the war was over, Arjuna started asking the question to Krishna to repeat Bhagavad Gita again. Krishna said, I can't repeat the whole of Gita, you see. I will just give you the gist of Gita. That has become known as Anugita. We have got 29 Gitas, please remember. Bhagavad Gita is not the only Gita. Ashtavakra Gita, Avadhuta Gita, Namusha Gita, Pandava Gita, Rubu Gita, Siddha Gita, Vyada Gita, Ramana Gita. Like that, we have got 29 Gitas. In Bangalore, Malleshwaram in 8th class, there is one Gandhi Sahitya Sangha, where Neelathali Kasturi, when he was the secretary of that, had asked me to speak on Gita Malika. That was a 29-year-old project. One Gita for 1 year, like that. 15 years I could speak. After that, he passed away and that stopped. Anyway, so these are some of the things which happen in one's life, you see. ಎಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಮಗೆ ದಕ್ಕೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವಿ ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ, ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನೋ ಭಗವಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕರುಣಿಸ್ತಾನೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. In Anugita, Om is presented as the ultimate single syllable representing Brahman and the foundational sound of yoga and meditation. It is this imperceptible seat of Brahman wherein the heart syllable leads to liberation. Avadhuta Gita of Dattatreya defines Om as the essence of all the knowledge and the supreme reality. It narrates Om to lead the seeker towards direct, non-dual experience, moving beyond lower knowledge to the realization of the self. You see, experience is the most important thing. You can say in 100 Shruti Vakyas that fire is cold. But what is your experience? Once you go near that, the fire starts burning you. When you are thirsty, you have to drink water by taking from a glass. And if Kodanram drinks water, my thirst will not go. Therefore, always it is self-experiential. This is the thing which Shvetaketu was taught in the 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad through Tattvamasi Vakyartha by giving 9 Laukika examples by the father to his son who had come back to home with full of pride and arrogance. So, this is how our tradition has taught the concept of Om. Now, coming to the syllables, as I told you in the beginning, there are 43 interpretations of A, U, and Ma, out of which I am going to give just 1 or 2 from the point of view of your example. Akara is Matru Surupa. So, A is mother. The first thing which you have to offer our respect is to our mother, because mother and motherland are greater than heaven itself. Janani Janmabhumistya Swargadapi Gariyasi, for which Valmiki is the authority in Valmiki Ramayana, which is the first Kavya, and hence it is known as Adi Kavya, written by Adi Kavi Valmiki. So, if you take Dr. V. Raghavan, for example, he says beautifully, Ramayana is our national Kavya and Kalidasa is our national poet. He starts with that. Therefore, we have that nationalism in that whole thing. So, from that point of view, Avu and Ma, mother is the greatest. We have a statement in Sanskrit, there can be bad children, but never a bad mother. Kuputro jayeta kochidapi kumata na bhavati. It's only out of rage Bharata calls Kaikeyi as Kumata in Pratima Nataka of Basa, because he cannot tolerate that Dasharatha is no more and Rama, the dear brother, has gone to the forest and he is being asked to rule the kingdom. Therefore, he says, out of full of rage, Mama matuscha madhyastatvanna shobase Ganga Yamanyor madhye kunadiva pravechita. How did you enter like backwaters amidst Ganga and Yamuna? Kausalya and Sumitra are like Ganga and Yamuna, and you are like backwaters. He says, I am not going to rule. I will go back to forest. I will bring back Rama and make him the king. So that's the pledge which Bharata says. That's why we have Bharatana Bhratru Prema. That has become the classic. If he is a brother, one should have a brother like that of him. Now coming to the second point, Wu. What is Wu? Wu is Pita. Mata Purvarupam, Pita Uttara Rupam, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Unfortunately, these days we have only Titi Devo Bhava. There is no Atiti Devo Bhava. So that's the whole problem. In earlier times, people used to go out before taking food. If there is anybody going there, let us feed him first and then eat. Now also we go out to see whether door is properly locked or not. So what a difference you see. Ma is Guru. You can never substitute the word or translate the word Guru into English. Guru is not preceptor. Guru is not mentor. Guru is not teacher, but Guru is Guru himself. Gukaraha andakarasya rushabdaha tan nirodhakrito andakara nirodhitvat gururittya vidiyate. That's the definition of Guru. Therefore, one who dispels the darkness in the form of ignorance and gives light in the form of knowledge is a Guru. That's why Vedanta Deshika in Nyasa Vimshati, second stanza quotes, Siddham Sat Sampradaye Stiradiyam Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Satvastam Satyavacham Samayaniyataya Sadhuvritya Paretam Damba Asuyadi Muktam Jita Vishayaganam Dirgabandhum Dayalam Skalityesha Sitaram Swajanarahita Param Deshikam Bhushnaripset. Deshika is the final root. What is Deshika? According to Kularnava Tantra, Devata Rupadharitvat, Shishyanugraha Karanat, Karunyamritapurtitvat, Deshika Katita Priye. That's the definition of Deshika. God himself descends down to lift the student to his level spiritually, out of mercy and compassion. And if we say the Anukampa, we don't attach much importance, you see, because we are English oriented and we want something from Shakespeare. All right, let us quote Shakespeare also. The quality of mercy is not strained, it troubles as a gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It's vice blessed, it blesseth him that gives and him that takes, its mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes a throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to on majesty. Wherein does sit that dread and fear of kings, but mercy is above the sceptred sway. It's enthroned in the hearts of kings. It's an attribute to God himself, an earthly power that then show like his gods, when mercy seasons justice. We have got 3 kinds of gurus. Drushti Matra Guru, Sparsha Matra Guru, Alingana Matra Guru. Drushti Matra Guru is Ramana Maharshi. Alingana Matra Guru is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. With one embrace, Narendra was transformed into Vivekananda. And the third Sparsha Matra Guru is Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal of Sringeri Sharada Peetam, who could cure somebody of the blindness with a mere touch. You know, like that, we have got so much of material regarding Avu and Ma. I have just given you one interpretation, that's all. So let me just quote one or two opinions of Radhakrishnan and Hiryanna, and with which maybe my time is up. Therefore, I should not transgress time. Kalaya tasmai namaha and kalo jagat bhakshataha. So from that point of view, let me quote Radhakrishnan. He viewed Om as a supreme, all-encompassing sound symbol representing ultimate reality, Brahman, or the self. For him, Om represents the highest reality, which is self-luminous and remains untouched by time, death, or suffering. He said that Om is the witness consciousness. According to M. Hiryanna, he views Om as the most profound vocal symbol for its ultimate reality, Brahman bridging the gap between intellectual concepts and direct spiritual experience. It's a sonic designation for both Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. Swami Vivekananda says, Om is the supreme, undifferentiated symbol of the Brahman. Om is not merely a word, but the manifesting word of God Himself, serving as the matrix and natural basis for all articulate sound. So, these are some of the statements we can recollect from the point of view of Om. Therefore, right from Vedic times, when we pass on to the Vedantic times of Upanishad, from there to Smriti time of Manusmriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, then to Puranic times of the 18 major Puranas, then down to Tantric times, and then to Yogic times, and from then we to our national poet Kalidasa, and to the 20th century literature. Om has pervaded like one single thread, which has collected all the beautiful flowers into the form of a garden, which is made to understand our inner self. Thank you very much for your great opportunity which you bestowed on me so that I could recollect some of the statements of Om in this short talk. Those who are specially interested, they can definitely refer to my two books, Omkara Pranavopasane in Kannada, wherein I have given about 220 quotations on Om, and the same I have translated into English, Om, the Pranava in Indian tradition. This is being published from Eastern Book Linkers, 5825, New Chandrawal, Jawahar Nagar, Delhi 11007 in the year 2001. These two books will give you further information on this. I have just given the gist of whatever I had collected 25 to 30 years ago. Therefore, thanks once again, and I really appreciate the patience of you for tolerating me for this entire 1 hour of the concept of Om. There is so much to say, but what I have said is only a very small thing. I know that how much more I have left behind and how less I have given you. Thank you very much for your thing. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi.
ಸರ್ ಬಹಳ ಭವ್ಯವಾದ ಮಾತುಗಳು. ಅಂದಿನಿಂದ ಇಂದಿನವರೆಗೂ ಇಡೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟರಿಯನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರಿ. ಅಂದಿನ ಆರಂಭ, ಇಂದಿನ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಮನನವಾಗಿ, ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದಿರಿ. ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಓದಿದ್ರು ಸಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಇವತ್ತು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೋ ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಹೌ ರಿಚ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಈಸ್. We are bowing down to you, sir. I request Bharathraj to take further if there are any questions and to conclude today's talk. So Bharathraj,
ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ ನೋಡೋಣ.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ತಾವು ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ
ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ
ಸರ್.
ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ? ಇವತ್ತು ಬಹಳ
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್.
ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದಂ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶಂಕರ್ರಾವ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆದ ಮುನ್ನಾರಣಪ್ಪ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮೀನಾ ಮಧುಸೂದನ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರಜನಿಕಾಂತ್, ಕೃಷ್ಣಪ್ಪ, ರೆಟ್ಟಿಹಳ್ಳಿ, ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಸೇರಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಬಹಳ
ಸರ್,
ಸಂತೋಷ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ
ಓಂಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಯೋಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಂಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಯೋಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಂದೊಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇತ್ತು.
ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ
ಹಲೋ,
ಕೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಗುರುಗಳೇ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಓಂ ಅನ್ನೋ ಶಬ್ದನ ಬರೀ ಓಂ ಮಾತ್ರ ಉಚ್ಚರಿಸಬಾರ್ದು, ಚಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ದೇವ್ರದ್ದು ಪದ ತಗೊಂಡು ಚಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವರು ಬರೀ ಓಂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸಾಕು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ದ್ವಂದ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಂಶಯ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡೂ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಹೇಗಾದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಓಮಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಆ ಊ ಮಾ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಚಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಉಂಟು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೂರು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಂ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡೋದು ಉಂಟು. ಅದೇ ತರಹ ನಾವು ಈ ಪಂಚಾಕ್ಷರಿ ಮಂತ್ರ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟಾಕ್ಷರಿ ಮಂತ್ರ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಆವಾಗ ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ಅಥವಾ ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವಾಯ ಅದು ಹೇಳೋದುಂಟು ಪದ್ಧತಿ. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಅದೇನು ತಪ್ಪೇನಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರಹ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ. ಒಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಭಗವಂತನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂಕೇತ. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೆ ಸೇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಯಾವ್ದು ರೀತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಓಂ ಚಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ವೀಕ್ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸರ್ಟನ್ಲಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇನು ಅನುಮಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಂಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತನ್ನದೇ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ, ಪಾವಿತ್ರ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಂಪರೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಯದ್ಭಾವಂ ತದ್ಭವತಿ, ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅಂತರಂಗ ಶುದ್ಧಿ ತುಂಬ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಶುದ್ಧಿಗಿಂತನೂ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಸಬಾಹ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಂತರ ಶುಚಿಹಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಬರೀ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಶುಚಿಗೆ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಹೊರತು ಅಂತಃಶುಚಿಗೆ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ. ಅಂತಃಶುಚಿ ತುಂಬ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ನಾವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾರನ್ನೋ ಬೈಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅದರಿಂದ? ಸೊ ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಬಾಹ್ಯ ಶುಚಿಯೂ ಬೇಕು, ಅಂತಃಶುಚಿಯೂ ಬೇಕು, ಎರಡೂ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರೇ, ನಿಮ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ
ಸರ್? ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಓಂ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ, ಈಗ ಓಂ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ರಾಯನ್ಮ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಓಂ ಅನ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ?
ಏನು ಆ ಥರ ಏನಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ತಿಳಿದ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನು ಆ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಧ್ವಾಚಾರ್ಯರೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸೂತ್ರ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಉತ್ತಮ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಓಂಕಾರವನ್ನ ಉಚ್ಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸೂತ್ರ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಧ್ವಾಚಾರ್ಯರೇ ಅಪ್ಪಣೆ ಕೊಡಿಸಿರೋದಿದೆ.
ಇನ್ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರಜನಿಕಾಂತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಹೇಳಿ, ಕೇಳಿ
ಸರ್, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷಣ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಗಿರಿನಗರಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವು ಬಂದಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ.
ಹೌದು.
ಅವತ್ತು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಒಳಗಡೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾಯ್ತು. ಅವತ್ತು ತುಂಬಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಪೀಲ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸಹ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಹ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸೆ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅನ್ಬೋದು. ನಮಗೆ ಶಿವಾಯ ವಿಷ್ಣು ರೂಪಾಯ ಶಿವರೂಪಾಯ ವಿಷ್ಣುವೇ ಶಿವಶ್ಚುರ್ರೇಂ ವಿಷ್ಣು ವಿಷ್ಣುಶ್ಚುರ್ರೇಂ ಶಿವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಮಂತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಯಥಾಂತರಂ ನ ಪಶ್ಯಾಮಿ ತಥಾಮೇ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿರಾಯಿಷಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಹೌ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್?
ಅದು ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಈ ವಾಗರ್ತ ಇವ ಸಂಪೃಕ್ತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಶ್ಲೋಕ, ಅದೇ ತರಹನೇ ಇದು. ಜಗತ ಪಿತರವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರವು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ತರ ಪದವಿಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಪ ರಮೇಶ್ವರಂ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀನಾರಾಯಣ ಅಂತಾನೂ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದೇನು ತಪ್ಪಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ತರಹ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಎರಡೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇರತ್ತೆ.
ಅದೇ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಮಂತ್ರದ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಆಕಾಶಾತ್ ಪಿತಿತಂ ತೋಯಂ ಯಥಾ ಗಚ್ಚತಿ ಸಾಗರಂ ಸರ್ವದೇವ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಕೇಶವಂ ಪ್ರತಿಗಚ್ಚತಿ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದೌದು. ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಶಬ್ದದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ರಾಮಾನುಜಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಶಬ್ದದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಮಧ್ವಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಹರಿ ಶಬ್ದದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೆ ವಿಭಿನ್ನ ನಾಮಗಳಿಂದ ಕರೆಯೋದಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ನಾಮಕ್ಕೆ ಜೋತು ಬಿದ್ದು ನಾವು ಮೂಲ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನು ಮರಿಬಾರ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನದಿಗಳ ನೀರು ಹೋಗಿ ಸಮುದ್ರವನ್ನ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಮ್ಮ ನಾಮರೂಪಗಳಿಂದ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಗಂಗಾ ಯಮುನಾ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಲಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀರಿಗೆ ನೀರು ಹೇಗೆ ಒಂದಾಗತ್ತೋ ಹಾಗೆ. ಈಗ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಷಟ್ಪದಿ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ 2ನೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಪರಮಾನಂದಂ, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ? ಭರತರಾಜ್ ಸರ್, ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಕೊಡಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು.
ರಂಗನಾಥ್ ಸರ್, ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ತಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ವತ್ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸದಿಂದ ಓಂಕಾರನ ಮಂತ್ರದ ಒಂದು ಮಹತ್ವನ, ವೇದಗಳು, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನೇಕ ಮಹನೀಯರ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿರೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ 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 ಅದರ ಮಹತ್ವ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಮಂತ್ರಮುಗ್ನರಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಪಾವನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು 50 ನಿಮಿಷ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸುಗಳು ಪಾವನ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ತಾವು ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ತಮಗೆ ಅನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇವತ್ತು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ತಂಡದಿಂದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಶುಭರಾತ್ರಿ.
ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೃತಜ್ಞನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ, ಶಿಮ್ಲಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ 10 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂದೇಶದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೃತಜ್ಞನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತು ನೀವೇನು ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹಿಂದೆ ಓದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳು ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ರೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ಯು.
ಸರ್ವೇ ಜನಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು.
ಓಂಕಾರ ಬಿಂದು